Basketball has been blessed with some great leaders who have grown grown the fortunes for players today because of the increasing popularity of this league, not just in this country, but worldwide. And I'm thrilled for the players. People say, oh, he makes too much. I don't care how much money they make. I don't. I'm thrilled for them because for everyone who's overpaid, we've had a lot that are underpaid. So I would probably be a great advocate for stronger unions for the players today. The franchises talk about how much money they make, but at the end of the day, there's enormous write-offs for these very rich owners, and they're more concerned. The new owners know about numbers. Sometimes numbers matter more to them. Players matter more to me.
Trust is a big issue, and we don't sit out there every night subject to the barbs and criticism of writers and fans and sometimes players. But there has to be a great sensitivity to this because, people, how many will there ever be a perfect season in basketball? No, there will never be one. And when you start winning a lot of games, you lose a game, it's like the end of the earth. And then you might turn around and win 4 or 5 games in a row or 6 games in a row and people forget it. But you have to remember that fans are fickle, writers are fickle, and so do the people who work with teams. They're fickle in the sense they only want to win. They only want to win.
I don't believe in 5-year plans. I don't believe in promising people anything. No. You live every season the way it is, but somewhere along the way you have to be realistic as what you're looking at. You got to get over it. Try to get better in your own organization. Try to make the right choices. Don't waste money on players that you shouldn't waste money on. Try to bring the right players in to give the coach more assets.
In terms of how do you get better? So I think the first thing I always look is who are going to be the free agents, knowing that there's a possibility that we're going to have a new system in place. Who was someone that would fit with this team? But I think it has an awful lot to do with who coaches a team. A coach to some degree has to take the players who are already here and mold them into what he sees that can make them a better team. The thing I get enamored with is really good basketball players. I know the kind of players I like to play with. I like to play with players that are serious players, that go out there every night and compete every night. And I also like unselfish players. And those are the things to me that allows you to build a team, and particularly build a team that's built around some solid foundation. And in NBA in particular, and also college, you're just not going to win at a high level unless you have a balance with your team. You got to be a good defensive team, and you have to be a good offensive team. Plus, you want to play with a lot of great guys.
I've always felt that cap space is fool's gold, because sooner or later you're going to have to spend it. And if you're under the threshold where the league requires you to spend X amount of dollars, you have to spend it on someone. And some teams will pay someone, an exorbitant amount of money for 2 years. That certainly should not be in the category of these truly great players. And, there's always 1 or 2 prizes out there every year. And people are, we're going to go get these guys. We're going to go get these guys. It is really difficult. And it's difficult to maintain teams today because of free agency.
Mm-hmm. What you do with chips, it's like going to Las Vegas. If you have a $100 chip and you place it on the table, you lose it and you can't recover. If you get 4 $25 chips, you got the ability to recover, okay? I think it's pretty much like that. We got some assets now that would be available for other teams to look at and say, hey, we'd really like to have him. And a couple of those players teams have acquired about. And that makes me feel good about it, because I think it tells you that other people value the players we got from them. You need a couple of special players on your team. Who you surround those players with? To me, they have to be players that complement them. More importantly, they have to be able to think the game. If you can't think this game, you're going to get beaten a lot of close games. Players who can think this game are going to win games for you if you've got those big stars.
Acquire players that are might not be household names, but they might come into a game and be a difference maker for you on a lot of given nights, because they've proven themselves for a period of time and they have different skills than maybe the people think they have. on a team, you don't want every player to play the same way.
Right.
You definitely don't want to do that.
The three-point line to completely change the game. How can you be a great defensive team unless you have some kind of a balance? Because they'll go down and shoot 1-on-4, and here comes the offensive team running this way, and a long rebound. A lot of times they just throw it down for a wide-open layup. So I think your defenses get compromised. We see more people taking three-point shots, but I think when they're taken is the most important thing, because to me it gives you a little bit better balance defensively and gives a team a chance to play defense where sometimes you just can't play good defense. And when the ball was shot so from everywhere, I mean, absolutely everywhere. And as I say, it creates excitement because late in the game, a lead is never safe. It's created a different kind of player. We see incredibly gifted ball handlers today.
There's two things that stand out to give a player a chance, not just to make the league, but have greatness. Number one, a very high basketball IQ. But the other one that to me that might be the biggest skill of all would be work ethic, a tenacity to play the game, a mental toughness. When you have your best players buying into what a coach wants to do, it makes it easy for a coach because they're the ones that these other players who haven't quite arrived yet are going to follow.